It was Modi mania when the Indian Prime Minister came to Australia.
Well, it was a rockstar welcome for Indian PM Narendra Modi as he took to the stage at Kudos Bank Arena in Sydney alongside Anthony Albanese.
Modi Airways, a specially chartered Qantas 737, flying the faithful from Melbourne to Sydney to see their PM give a speech at Homebush this evening.
But improving the living standards in a country of 1.3 billion people has given Narendra Modi cult status.
Last year, 20,000 people filled the Sydney arena to hear from the leader of the world's biggest democracy.
साथियों, आप सभी यहाँ ऑस्ट्रेलिया में हैं, यहाँ के विकास को देख रहे हैं। आप सभी का एक सपना रहा है कि हमारा भारत भी विकसित राष्ट्र बने।
Last time I saw someone on the stage here was Bruce Springsteen, and he didn't get the welcome that Prime Minister Modi has got. Prime Minister Modi is the boss.
From Australia to the Pacific, from the US to the Middle East, there's never quite been an Indian leader who has drawn the massive crowds like Narendra Modi has overseas. All of this fanfare has been made possible thanks to the Indian diaspora that spread across the globe. In fact, it is the world's biggest diaspora, with the Indian government estimating the size to be around 32 million. But what's different about Narendra Modi, and why does he get rock-star receptions? To find out, I paid a visit to Rakesh and Monica Raizada, who live in Melbourne's western suburbs. Hello, Girish from ABC. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
Namaste.
Namaste, Monica. Nice to meet you. Thank you. They've lived in Australia for 25 years and are proud of their Indian heritage. They are equally proud that Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister of their birth country and strongly believe Modi has played an important role in India's rise on the global stage.
Who could think or imagine 20 years back, 15 years back, that even poor people could have a bank account, they could have a health insurance, things like that.
He has become popular by doing things, by getting things done for the poorest to the richest, from simple things like how to improve the soil to reaching the moon. I think he has done so many works everywhere that his popularity, he has earned that popularity.
In fact, Rakesh was on that very Modi Airways flight last year when the Prime Minister was heading to Sydney.
It was electric. It was inspiring to see when Modi walks and talks. When Modi walks like a tiger, like he is confident person coming out who has command, who has got vision, who has got to look after the entire largest country in the world population-wise.
It's a sentiment echoed by many in the diaspora.
Members of the Indian diaspora, many of them feel that if India is doing well, their own self-esteem goes up. They feel better about themselves. That India is no longer the land of snake charmers and slumdog millionaires.
Professor Pradeep Taneja says Modi's popularity overseas has been used to his advantage.
Diaspora is part of the narrative that India is shining, that India's status, global standing is growing, that India is now respected by the world. That's part of particularly the BJP narrative, the current government's narrative. And having the support of the diaspora, during the election campaigns becomes important to that extent, that they support the narrative. Prime Minister Modi has, since he came to office, he has really made Indian diaspora part of his foreign policy. So, for example, he has described the Indian diaspora as India's brand ambassadors.
But he warns that India's diaspora is just as politically diverse as the electorate in India, and Narendra Modi may not be everyone's cup of tea.
There's a large section of the diaspora which is a strong supporter of Prime Minister Modi and the BJP currently. But there are also those who are very critical of Prime Minister Modi and the BJP. So the diaspora is not a monolithic entity. We do have a great deal of diversity in the Indian diaspora, as it should be, because diaspora doesn't agree on everything.
Melbourne-based stand-up comedian Atif Dang is one of them. Like many in the Indian diaspora, Atif is proud of his Indian heritage. In fact, his grandfather was a freedom fighter who once went to jail with Mahatma Gandhi, but he's no fan of Mr. Modi.
What is happening is nothing beyond majoritarianism, and I understand you want to take over, but I think that whole narrative that one particular religion is in danger and is going to take over has divided it more than it ever could.
He says those divisions are also visible in the diaspora here in Australia. He shares how he was targeted after performing a stand-up routine that made fun of India's Prime Minister, even when he didn't specifically name Narendra Modi.
I got heaps of abuses, so much I had to go silent on social media for 3 months. They're like, how dare you, you're abusing our Prime Minister? I was like, I did not even name which Prime Minister. I just said Prime Minister.
So whatever the outcome of a general election that's taking place thousands of kilometers away, the Indian diaspora is closely watching every political move.